Hey guys, what's up? JK with PornReboot here, and today I'm going to tell you why you should not let Dogma hold you back from your recovery. So what is Dogma? Dogma is an official system or principles which concern your morals or your behavior or your philosophy, as it has to do with the church, like a set of beliefs. So I grew up in a deeply religious Catholic household, and masturbation was a sin, okay? Premarital sex was a sin. Hell was a reality that was etched into my mind. And I used to have nightmares about spending an eternity in hell tortured by demons, seriously. And religion and dogma pretty much ruled over everything I did as a kid. Now, dogma is a very powerful thing, and when you're young, it's drilled into your head together with all sorts of limiting beliefs, things concerning wealth and relationships and certain groups of people, among other things. And dogma may have originally started out with really noble intentions, but the bottom line is that dogma is a form of control. So what that means is that, I'll give you an example. One of the reasons why I was a virgin until the age of 21 had everything to do with my religious upbringing and my fear of damnation. If you want to taste every last sweet drop of juice that your life has to give, then you're going to have to squeeze very hard. And that means you have to do whatever you want to do. You have to do it fully and passionately without caring what other people think. So don't get trapped in a previous generation's way of life. You must adapt to the present generation. And most importantly, you must question every belief that was programmed into you as a child. If you really don't feel an urge to get married, then don't let the fear of losing your girlfriend or the fear of being alone influence your decision. Don't let your parents' religious or cultural beliefs get in your way. Don't get married if you don't want to, right? Now, if you want to have sex with, multiple attractive women, do it. You're not a creep for approaching women. You're not a player for having sex with multiple women as long as it's consensual and it's not a part of your addiction. You're not shallow for choosing to live that life. And you're not less enlightened or less spiritual by choosing to follow your biological desires. Does this make sense? Now, when I was still addicted to pornography and trying to improve my dating skills, I spent a lot of time with guys who were excited to learn these skills. They were frustrated and very clueless, like me, but they were eager to learn, and they were propelled by their desire for sex. And many of them eventually got quite good at attracting women, and some got good at getting laid consistently, and that's great for them. And a handful of them learned how to build and sustain great long-term monogamous relationships. But almost all of them succumbed to dogma. And usually they would start dating a woman, they would stop talking to other attractive women around them, and they would quickly fall victim to comfort and security and the fear of loss. That's the dangerous one. Some got married, then divorced, and they realized that the woman that they had been with all that time was not the right one for them. Some got lazy, and as a result, their wives stepped out on them, cheated on them, divorced them, left them financially destitute. And a handful of them today are happily married and they claim to be happy, but the amount of pornography they consume, coupled with their willingness to visit a strip club at the drop of a dime, it really makes me question their claim. Now, these are mostly acquaintances now. So brothers, if you're seriously trying to end your behavior with pornography or overcome limiting beliefs, dogma is not going to do you any favors. It will certainly make you very guilty about many of the decisions that you're going to make. Some people tell me Jesus is going to help you quit porn. No, only your firm decision and a scientifically proven method will. Your faith will help you as a foundation, but you need a system. So there are very few approaches to ending your porn addiction that work. Even many of those that have a scientific approach sometimes have a deep religious agenda behind them, and at best, they'll make you repress your cravings. Your addiction needs to be handled head on. It needs to be understood, acknowledged, and dealt with piece by piece. It could take anywhere from a year to 2 years for you to fully overcome it and for your brain to rewire. So for some of you, it may become a lifelong struggle. That's the truth. You are going to overcome it, but you may have to maintain a certain type of lifestyle to keep it from taking over your life again. That's the reality, brothers. Time waits for no man. And before you know it, you're going to be an old man. Your days of trying to date women or looking for a relationship that is sexually active will be long gone. And the only thing left is going to be regret. So if dogma is holding you back, cut those ropes and break free. Only fear holds you back. I have fears as well, I feared that I would never overcome my addiction. I was scared that my erectile dysfunction, my PIED, was permanent. I sometimes am afraid of growing old alone because, I refuse to drink society's Kool-Aid. I feel fear, but I use it to motivate me to push harder. When I feel fear, I use it as a sign that it's time to grow. It's time to tackle that fear. So in the twilight of your life, be sure that your life was lived fully, fearlessly, and without regrets. You want to look back at your life and smile because your time on earth was spent as a free man, free from the bondages of society and dogma. So I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. I actually read this every morning that I do my morning routine. And it goes, "The only life worth living is the adventurous life. Of such a life, the dominant characteristic is that it is unafraid. It is unafraid of what others think. It does not adapt either its pace or its objectives to that of its neighbors. It thinks its own thoughts, it reads its own books, it develops its own hopes, and is governed by its own conscience. The herd may graze where it pleases or stampede where it pleases, but he who lives the adventurous life will remain unafraid when he finds himself alone." And that is by Raymond B. Forsyth, I believe. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you later in the week.